What is going on, Full Heel Podcast? I am back at you with episode 90. Finally reached episode 90, and today I am joined by my special guest, Jeff. Let me find his camera if I can. I don't know where it went. Okay, there it is. What's going on, Jeff?
What up, brother? What up, Full Heel Podcast?
Yeah, it's been a while.
Fuck yeah, it's been a while. It's great to be back. Dude, I think we're almost to a year of when I came to visit. That's got to be the anniversary's got to be coming up pretty soon.
Bellator, Fedor versus Mir, whatever that was.
Yeah, it's only a couple of weeks away because I just today in my memories. No, it was like the beginning of April.
Okay.
Because a year ago today, I gave my notice to my job. So it was like another, I don't know, I think it was like the end of April because it was whenever Avengers came out last year. Because I went to see Avengers Thursday night and then Friday morning got up and drove to Chicago. Friday afternoon or whatever, got up and drove to Chicago and then fucking hung out with you. And then the next day we went to Bellator. So I did like Avengers. I had like a jam-packed weekend, but yeah, it's coming up soon. Next couple weeks, I think.
Yeah, and that's the last time you were on the podcast, right?
I think so. Yeah, because we did the ECW one before that. So yeah, it was the last time I was on the podcast.
Yeah, usually.
So what's up?
Yeah, Full Heel Podcast. Welcome.
What up, Full Heel Podcast? Yeah. It's been a while.
Yeah,
it's been a while.
You usually don't go out of the stream of the guys that I know here, or not live ones, but you and Ryan, I'll make an exception for over the phone.
Well, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on, man.
Yeah, no problem. I don't think I've had anyone else on phone. No. For sure.
Well,
I don't think so.
I figure it's time to.
Yeah, spark them if you got them, guys. Actually, yeah, let me.
Smoke if you got them.
Yeah,
I mean, that's what we do. That's what we do on our show, right? The intro is fucking spark right up. So that's what keep the vibe going.
Jeff with the joints.
Always,
the Beat Slayer. For those of you who don't know, Jeff's a rapper from Michigan. I'm co-host with him on Average Joe's MMA show. So check us out if you haven't. I don't promote it enough, but check us out if you guys don't know about that.
My wonderful fucking life-saving co-host.
No problem, bro.
Fuck yeah. Dude, it's awesome to be back on, man. We get to talk. We talk a little bit of wrestling on our show. I mean, for the Full Heel Podcast members that don't listen to the show, I don't keep up on the current product. I will watch WrestleMania every year.
Which is this Sunday.
This was this Sunday, right?
Brother, and let me tell you something. You see this?
First ever woman's. Fuck
Brother
yeah.
Brutai. I don't know if I had the camera on right, but I hope I did. Oh, yeah,
you did.
It was on me.
At least from my angle.
But I gotta.
Oh yeah, you're doing doubles.
I have to do two different cameras because you gotta see me and they gotta see me. Well, you don't gotta see me, but I got a camera for you and I got a camera for the YouTubes.
Nice.
Skype will mix up the mics, but it won't do it with
the camera.
You don't gotta see. Yeah.
Weird.
I won't do that. Yeah, kind of weird.
But yeah, so I don't keep up on current product, but I was a fucking diehard old school WWF, WCW, ECW fan my whole life until I got into my 20s, and then I kind of stopped watching. But yeah, I fucking love talking about wrestling, especially old shit that I know, and with you being on the show, I get a lot more exposure to what's going on currently than I did before. But yeah, I always try to watch WrestleMania, but I like to talk wrestling, especially old shit.
And I need to have more of these episodes, so I'm glad you guys. Well, Ryan started he's like, "Hey, have me on," and I'm like, "Yep," and I just didn't get to it. And then he's like, "Hey, when can I come on?" I'm like, "Yeah, next time." And it's not that I don't want him on; it's just that I'm a lazy cunt. So.
Shake that springtime out. Shake that springtime out your lungs.
Yeah, the springtime lungs.
It's all that fresh fucking pollen coming up into the air. I mean, I guess it's not warm enough for shit to start producing pollen yet, but
People have been getting sick though. People have been getting sick.
The temperature change fucks with me, man.
I thought it was because I was sick before. I'm like, oh, I'm getting sick. I'm getting a cold or whatever. No, it's because of allergies. I was like, I got allergies. Fuck
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
And then everyone's like, you probably have allergies. And I'm like, nah, I'm just sick. And they're like, nah, you probably have allergies. And I'm like, okay, whatever, bitch. And
Yeah.
then, I think I might have allergies.
I know I have allergies, and they're only going to get worse as the spring continues because as shit starts fucking putting out pollen and blooming, well, I love it and it's beautiful and I'm happy because fuck winter. I fucking hate that shit. But
You didn't like the polar vortex we had?
fuck no, dude. Man, winter, look, seasonal affective disorder is real as fuck, and it hit me hard this winter. Real fucking hard. Like, I just went to work, really never really wanted to do shit. Like, so fuck winter. I'm glad the sun's out. I can fucking, dude, it's beautiful. Yeah. Happy. It's just like from mid-April till like Labor Day, I gotta fucking pop goddamn allergy meds like crazy, or my head will feel like it's going to explode.
I'll get it for a week, and then I'm good.
But I would rather have to take allergy pills than fucking be cold. So I'm good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we're here to talk about Wrestlemania.
Yeah, buddy.
9.
WrestleMania 9.
Yeah, WrestleMania 9 in Caesar's Palace.
Yeah.
The first outside arena for WrestleMania. Recently, I think it's been the last 2. They've been doing the outside thing. I'm not sure if it might be more or less. Definitely.
I know. I was to say the last 2 I know I've watched for sure, and one was out in San Francisco. Was that 2 years ago?
I'm not sure exact locations, but I think they've been outside.
Yeah, I know they did one at like Levi's Stadium or whatever, which is in San Francisco. Dallas was a couple of years ago. I think that was 3 years ago because my friend Carl went to that. But yeah, they've had a few outside ones. But yeah, you're right. The first one,
and it might be. Well, no, I'm not. It is top 5, one of the worst WrestleManias ever.
It's horrible.
Yeah,
it's a horrible bad. WrestleMania. Like I was telling you before we started the show, I picked WrestleMania 9 because number one, it's just horrible, so we can fucking make fun of it.
Yeah,
but it's terrible, but it does have quite a bit of significance.
Mm-hmm.
Not only because it was the first WrestleMania outdoors, but like I was saying to you, it was the last WrestleMania of the Hogan era before he went to WCW. And arguably after that WrestleMania, which is what makes it important and the Hogan era ends, is when shit started getting better. We started getting some better matches in WrestleMania 10. And it wasn't all about fucking Hogan anymore.
Yeah, and this might be attributed to how bad it is because of the transitioning. You have the
it was still transitioning,
and then you have the newer guys that are kind of becoming cooler.
We get
gimmicks.
We get glimpses of the future guys that are starting to, like, Shawn Michaels was still in the Intercontinental Championship. He hadn't started going after the championship. Mm-hmm. Bret was in his first title run, I believe.
And sorry to interrupt. This is one of the last times that they kind of breed the Intercontinental Champion into being the next World Heavyweight Champion. Mm-hmm. That's how always it was. And then somehow it stopped being that, and it became somewhat of a joke. Not a joke, the Intercontinental Championship, just like a mid-card championship. And it didn't guarantee you that you were going to be past that anymore.
Right. Yeah, it used to be a very prestigious title.
Yeah.
And now I don't think it holds as much prestige. But they've watered down with so many fucking belts and stuff now. So, I mean, back then it was just basically the heavyweight, the Intercontinental, and the tag team.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, you still had, it was like that, like you said, a transition phase where you still had some of the really bad gimmicks. But you saw flashes of guys that were going to go on to do really great things at WrestleMania is from WrestleMania 9 on, which is another reason why I think it's important. Guys like Shawn Michaels was a curtain jerker in this one.
Yeah, dude. I think for the third WrestleMania in a row, he had started WrestleMania. I think as Intercontinental Champion too. So that's the thing. Like these were long holding champions, and Intercontinental Champion led to Heavyweight Champion.
Right.
And, like I said, I think he was one of the last ones to be bred into that kind of old school wrestling mentality, and then it come to fruition. There's just they don't do that anymore at all. Look at Dolph Ziggler's won the championship a couple times, but he's more known for an Intercontinental Championship guy. Great wrestler, great seller, all around very good, but he's known more for an Intercontinental Champion guy instead of a World Heavyweight Championship guy.
Right.
And that sucks, but
It just, I don't think it holds the weight that it used to. Like you said, it was like, if they were willing to put the Intercontinental title on you, you knew that a guy had a chance at probably being the next heavyweight champion. If they believed in you as Intercontinental, then they were going to let you get a push towards the heavyweight.
Mm-hmm.
And not anymore. A lot of great guys have held that belt over the years.
Yeah, and this was one of the better matches throughout the night between Shawn Michaels, Intercontinental Champion, and Tatanka, undefeated Tatanka at this time. I don't know how new he was in the sport. Or
he had been around. He had been around. It was fairly new. I think he'd been there at least a year at this point. Might be like a year and a half to 2 years. I was a little kid then, so my memory's kind of.
Mm-hmm. Well, 93 I was 5.
Yeah.
You were like 9?
Yeah. 10? Yep, 9. I was in the third grade.
Mm-hmm. I wasn't in school yet. Maybe kindergarten? No. Maybe.
But I mean, Shawn Michaels doesn't really have a bad match with anybody.
I guess that's why he's held such in high regard till this day as such a great wrestler.
He's a great worker.
Yeah, not botchy at all. Tatanka was mostly chops and not really doing anything whatsoever. We had more of the drop kicks and the elbows off the top rope. Shawn taking more of the spots in this match too. Like just taking more hits, like more flips, and just I don't know. Tatanka really didn't have a wrestling style, in my opinion. It was more of a gimmick that got him over than anything.
He had it was just like a really basic strong style.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of work off of like wrist locks into chops. He run the ropes a little bit. He could come off the top rope with like the chop or something, but not a lot of in the arsenal. He could work okay though. Tatanka was a decent worker,
especially with Shawn. This was a good match, good beginning. Kind of plateaued, but it didn't take a dip in action. It was more on Tatanka's side. But then
it was a good first match.
Yeah,
I
don't know why Nova Shawn was with Shawn Michaels at the time. Was this her first time? Because even the announcers kind of questioning that, why she was there. And Shawn just dropped Sensational Sherry from his from her management.
When Shawn went and became a singles wrestler, they put him with Sherry.
Mm-hmm. After he betrayed
Marty Jannetty, kicked him through the barbershop, or kicked him and threw him through the barbershop window and shit like that. Yeah. Fucked me up as a kid, man, because I loved the fucking Rockers, and I remember watching that episode of Saturday Superstars or whatever Sunday. Like when I was a kid, I was a junkie. Like whatever I could find wrestling on, I would watch it.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember watching that, like when they aired that segment, and I fucking hated Shawn Michaels for a long time because of that. Like, he's a great heel, but as a little kid, I fucking hated him because of that incident. Because I loved the Rockers, and I was mad he broke up the team and turned on Marty Jannetty. And then he comes out as this fucking arrogant boy toy How could you not hate him?
With Sensational Sherry.
With Sensational Sherry, who sang his walkout music originally before Sean started doing it. When Sherry was his manager originally, it was her.
Damn, nice.
Dropping knowledge on the heads.
So Luna Vachon is her first appearance with him. Tatanka comes out and Sensational Sherry comes out to support him as well. And to be honest, it's more of a storyline between them because I believe the storyline proceeds on because Luna Vachon continues to be Sean's manager, and then the feud continues on there. I know Sean had the announcers had mentioned that Sean had lost 2 matches to Tatanka, so that was kind of the epitome, I think, of the storyline between them. I don't know if it continued off of this.
Yeah, I think he beat him by like count out and something.
Sean won by Tatanka won by disqualification.
Oh, I was talking about the previous 2 matches.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Maybe one was a non-title or something like that.
Yeah, one was a non-title, and then the other one.
And
was
then
like
I think the other was a count out or a 6-man tag or something like that. Yeah. So, so they could keep Tatanka's streak intact without fucking Sean losing the belt because they didn't want to put it on Tatanka.
Yeah, the undefeated Tatanka, and let's keep Tatanka undefeated by not making him lose the title. So. Sean, after a pretty good match, probably, like I mentioned, one of the best matches throughout the night, 18-minute match, Sean is going to get counted out, and he pulls the ref's leg, pulls him out, actually, from out of the ring. Sean comes in and starts beating up on Tatanka. Tatanka lands his, I think it's his finisher, some kind of slam, and goes for the count, but the ref stops it and disqualifies Sean and names Tatanka the winner. Tatanka right away being pissed because it's a disqualification. He doesn't get the belt. And the managers kind of suck at selling this point in the match. They should know the rules and stipulations of how wrestling works. Luna is visibly disgusted, and Sherry is happy. She's happy that Tatanka won but didn't get the championship. And Luna, they know their roles, but they didn't really. In my opinion, they didn't play them right.
Yeah, they didn't play the roles right at all. And they're both better at this than that, especially Sherry. Mm-hmm. Luna's a fucking nutcase. Yeah. She was crazy with everybody she was with. Mm-hmm. I thought her pairing, her pairing with Bam Bam was really good. She was with Gangrel, not in WWF or E, but she was married to Gangrel.
Okay.
I think when yeah. They just, I don't know. They didn't work their roles right at all in this. Mm-mm. But a good match,
Nonetheless,
Sean, nonetheless, good match. Sean, like I said, never really puts on a bad match. And
did you notice that? Well, yeah, of course you noticed. But Tatanka has a Hogan power up, but
the Hogan power up. Yep.
Yeah, he's got the same exact Hogan power up, but it's what would you call it? A Native American power up or a
he starts doing like a
he gets hit and
traditional Native American dance where he's like I don't know how to really describe it, but just like a traditional Native American kind of dance. Mm-hmm. I don't want to call it a rain dance because obviously that's not what it is, but
it's kind of hilarious.
Those kind of movements, but that's his like Hogan moment. Mm-hmm. And he did that shit his whole career. And when it was going on, I said the same thing while I was watching it. I was like, oh, fuck, here comes the Hogan moment. Because I hadn't watched it in a long time either because of how bad it is. Yeah. But another significant point of WrestleMania 9 is the debut of Jim Ross.
Was he this debut? Was he returning?
Yep. No,
first time ever?
I think it was his first time ever.
Okay, I don't know.
I don't think Jim was there before. Tony Schiavone was, but I don't think Jim was. I think this was Jim's first time.
Okay, and we forgot to mention Macho Man and Gorilla Monsoon.
Oh, it Macho Man and Bobby Heenan.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah,
Gorilla was there.
Monsoon was the host, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, he hosted
the
Bobby
Toga Party.
Jim Ross.
I hit a button.
Everybody is in togas and fucking Howard Finkel, they were calling Finkus Maximus.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. I think that's what kind of added to the whole shittiness of the whole, wrestling event. And then no one was in togas besides everyone not wrestling. Like, none of the wrestlers were in togas.
No, none of the wrestlers were in togas. But all the announcers and Howard Finkel and fucking Gorilla, Todd Pettengill had some toga on with like this hat that looked like a douchey Caesar thing of it. Todd Pettengill was a piece of crap, and I forgot how bad he was at this thing too.
Yeah, pretty bad.
Macho Man was terrible. Oh my god, the commentary by Macho Man was really bad.
I liked it. I liked Macho Man's commentary. He was a wild card. I don't know what he was.
I love Mach. Mach is one of the fucking... Randy was one of the best workers, period, of any generation.
Mm-hmm.
Top 5 fucking greatest actual wrestlers and workers of all time, I would go on a ledge to say.
I might have liked it because of how bad it was.
He was really bad. And then, like, the commentary...
I found it funny. Like, not hilarious.
It's
like
bad
macho,
funny.
Macho, yeah, bad funny. Macho hilarious. Like,
but like some of the shit he was saying was just... I wish I would have taken notes. I was fucking all brownied out and high as shit when I watched this thing. But it was... The person I was watching it with, my buddy and I were watching it together, and he noticed how bad it was too. But like funny bad, like you said, like some of it you're just laughing because of how terrible it was.
Yeah, and this, like you were mentioning before, this was right before all their old talent that would still sell left to WCW.
Yeah, they wouldn't let Randy go back in the ring. That's part of the reason why he left.
Yeah, because he was old talent supposedly.
Yeah, Vince thought he was done. Yeah. So then he went to WCW and wrestled for another fucking 8 years or 7 years or some shit.
Doug Life. Yeah. That's what's
R.I.P. Macho Man. Not to be disrespectful, his commentary was just really bad at this event.
I enjoyed your commentary much, but it was pretty bad.
I enjoyed him.
It was wild. It was wild card. Raw. It was nothing to do. Like sometimes it was just saying stuff to say stuff.
Right,
like,
right.
You heel or, like he was, you knew he was face, but sometimes he would do heel shit. And it's like
he would exactly. That's why I thought it was bad. And poor JR is trying to keep the fucking wheels rolling.
JR wouldn't mention. Yeah, he would just keep silent and then start talking to Heenan sometimes.
Well, and like Mach was getting all like, it seemed like, I mean, I know it's kind of a work, but he was supposed to be face, but he started like getting heel heat with Heenan. And like kind of being an asshole
to Heenan
when Heenan's the heel.
Yeah.
And you're supposed to be the face. Like you're not supposed to get aggressive at him, Macho Man. They had to be separated.
Yeah,
Jim Ross.
At one point they had to be separated by Jim Ross. And don't touch me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now you mentioned it.
Oh, Mach. Yeah, so we go from a fucking pretty good 18-minute match to a tag team match.
A pretty good match. Another good match, I would say.
Yeah. I mean, the Steiners together have always been good workers.
Steiners match at WrestleMania.
Yes.
I think they had just started too. Like, I think they just might have had like one match at a Monday Night Raw, according to the commentators.
Yeah, I think they just had come back. They had been there before.
Okay. Were they coming from WCW? These guys jumped around a lot because they were so good. They could, I don't know.
I'm not sure if they were in WCW at the time.
Was this
before that
to World Championship Wrestling?
They went back there. I know Rick was there for a while. Before Scotty came into the fold, because like Rick was in WCW as a member of the Varsity Club with Mike Rotundo, IRS, and or Rotunda, I don't remember, and Kevin Sullivan and stuff like that. So I know they had a couple of runs in WCW before they went back and then split up. But yeah, this was like this run in WWE wasn't super long because within like 2 years or so they were in WCW.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And with the Steiner brothers versus the Head Shrinkers.
The Head Shrinkers,
Fatu and Samu with Afa, their father.
Rikishi
Yeah,
when he
Fatu's
was
Rikishi, right?
less fat, yeah.
A lot less fat, dude. A lot more fit. After this, he gained a lot of weight.
They're not. Afa wasn't their dad. It's like their uncle or something like that. They're all part of that fucking gigantic family.
Yeah.
But then or I think Sika is, or no, not Samu. So yeah, Samu, the other one that's not Rikishi, I think he is actually Afa's son.
Okay. Samu.
Or he's Samu. Or he's Sika's son. I don't fucking remember. Mm-hmm. I was looking at the family tree while I was watching this, but
And then this match you have two technical wrestlers from Michigan.
Right? Yes, sir.
And then you have the Head Shrinkers, two Islanders that shrink heads and are barbarians and have like a savage style of just fucking chops and punches and splashes and off the top rope stuff.
Yep, off the top rope work.
Clash of Styles, awesome. Two very, very good families of wrestling here coming together. That's a great match within a horrible WrestleMania. It has its moments. It's so horrible because of we'll get to that why it's so horrible.
Yeah, we'll get to why it's so horrible.
You pick your moments, man.
They loaded the front end with some good work.
Yeah,
and then
Michaels, great match, and then this one turned out to be a great match too.
Instead of getting better later into the card, it took a fucking nosedive. Yeah. But it started off pretty strong. Mm-hmm. Like two good matches because you had 4 big men that could work. And I mean, Scott having the ability for a guy his size being able to do the shit that he could do.
Dude, in this match, he took so much damage. He took so many of the spots. He was getting his ass beat the whole time.
He was in the whole time.
Dude, that takes some skill, man, to get your ass beat the whole match and to sell that as a tag team, because that's how you sell a babyface tag team. One of your brothers is getting beat, and then the second one comes in and destroys them to win the match after one of them's getting his ass beat the whole time, while the heel tag team is working on one guy separating him, doing fucking heel tactics and shit like that. And
Scott used to be great at selling when he was younger, especially like this time before he became Big Papa Pump, and then just was
the genetic freak.
Yeah, but when he was young and working in a tag team, he was a great seller because a lot of time, especially they were a babyface most of their career.
If you hear me,
he was the one that took a lot of the beatings. He was the one in the ring that was getting worked over, and then Scotty would come in and save the day. Or Rick, I'm sorry, Rick would come in and save the day.
Yeah, that's how it was in this match, man. Because they kept Scott away the whole time. They were beating the fuck out of him. At one point, Afa. Yeah, Afa hit him with I don't know what he had. It looked like
it's like a staff.
Yeah, it wasn't a Singapore cane. It was something that burst. It was like a big bamboo hollow shaft or something like that.
Like a bamboo staff or something.
Yeah, and it burst on this guy's back. Fucking Scott's back. And the whole time, like I said, he was getting beat until Rick came in, kind of even out the odds, and then tagged Scott back in, and he got them with a Frankensteiner, very kind of botched a little bit. It wasn't all too clean. He didn't hook the legs all too well, and it didn't.
He never hooked the legs when he did his. He just always. It was always about just getting the guy over and fucking. Because I had never seen anybody hit it and hook the leg until I first saw like Ray.
Yeah.
Because like I grew up, the first person I ever saw hit a Hurricane Rana is fucking Scott Steiner.
Is it a Frankensteiner?
Yeah, the Frankensteiner. That was my introduction to that move.
Yeah.
And like I didn't even know what the fuck it was called until I saw Rey Mysterio.
I didn't recognize it till it was Rey Mysterio.
But I had grown up watching fucking Rick and Scott, so I saw the Frankensteiner a lot growing up.
Yeah,
but
I didn't see too much of them till WCW. And then I got to play the game. That's when I got to meet them.
Mm-hmm.
And he might have dropped it by then, because he was never hooking the leg.
He never hooked the leg. He just always fucking flipped them. But I mean that with his legs, yeah. Because he would like come up.
He'd probably break his fucking neck. His own neck.
Probably. I mean, Jesus Christ, he did shit with such reckless abandon though. The way they fucking
steroids.
Well, we know he did that with reckless abandon.
Really, bro? Come on,
really?
It's all working out.
I mean, allegedly.
Yeah.
Allegedly, of course. This is all alleged that Scott ever took steroids.
Yeah. But great match. Go check out early Steiners versus early Rikishi and Samu and Afa as their manager. Good match. Head shrinkers. Then we had Doink versus Crush. Doink being, for people that don't know, Doink is a heel clown that wants to make kids cry.
This was the feud with Crush was when Doink first like started coming into the WWE.
Okay.
And Doink was a fucking, I mean, this was the era of the bad gimmick. And it was a bad gimmick. But Matt Bourne fucking sold that crazy ass evil clown. Amazing. He made, well, he didn't do, when Doink was a fan favorite, it wasn't Matt Bourne playing him anymore.
Okay.
Matt Bourne was the original Doink, and he was in there until, can't remember when they had suspended and then eventually just fired him because of drugs. They had, I mean, even, we already had saw at this point, at this WrestleMania, they were already bringing in, like, hiding multiple Doinks into shit, so.
Yeah.
You never really could tell. Mm-hmm. I can't remember who played Doink. I looked it up. Who was playing the second Doink at this? It was somebody we knew, though. Oh, it was Steve Kern.
Steve Kern.
Hold on.
What's his
he was Skinner. He portrayed a wrestler named Skinner that was like a gator hunter in the bad gimmick era. This is like my childhood era, so this is why I know this so well. But he played a wrestler named Skinner that was from like Florida or some shit. He came out with like this cup of fucking shoe spit and had like a gator head or some shit that he wore around his neck, but he played the second Doink at this instance. But like the Brooklyn Brawler had done
greatest jobber of all time.
The greatest jobber, Barry Horowitz, but yeah, you're right. The Brooklyn Brawler, the greatest jobber of all time.
Might be top three
for sure. Him and Barry Horowitz. Barry Horowitz is just like another name that I always remember fucking from being a jobber.
Yeah, so like you mentioned, there was a second Doink that helped Doink win this match. The ref was out, and I forgot how Crush got hit with it, because he was beating the shit out of Doink. And he should have won the match.
I think the second Doink came in and
hit him with a fake arm.
He hit him with the fake arm, yeah.
And then he went under the ring. And then he woke up the ref, and then the ref counted a 3 for Doink. And then that was it. But one of the refs tried to get it reversed. He's like, hey, there's 2 Doinks. He's like, and the ref's like, what are you talking about, bro?
Fucking Bill Alfonso, man.
I'm fucked up, bro. And then they looked under the ring, and they didn't see a second Doink.
Right.
So that was the end of that.
Yep.
Doink.
That was that.
Yep. Joined Doink. I think they even talked to Doink backstage after this, and they asked him about it, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
They asked him if there was a second doink or something, and I forgot what he said.
I can't remember either.
Yeah, I should have wrote it down.
Yeah, I don't know, man. They tried really hard to push Crush, and it just never worked out.
Yeah, I remember. What was his move? The claw or whatever.
The cranium. He'd squeeze your head. Yeah, he would squeeze both sides of your head right on your temples, and like pick you up and fucking. It wasn't a very good. But this was like the era of the Giant. Like Vince loved fucking size.
As you will see.
As you will see. And Crush had been in the WWF before this as a member of Demolition.
Does he join DOA? Disciples of Apocalypse?
I don't...
The biker guys?
I think originally he was a member of the DOA. And then I think he jumped to WCW.
Okay.
If I remember right.
What did he do with WCW? You remember?
He was in a tag team at one point with, was it Mortis or Canyon? He was Mortis. I don't remember. He had a few different gimmicks. He played the Kiss Demon at one point. Like, that gimmick didn't last too long, but he was the Demon. I feel like he was one of the guys that wore the weird Mortal Kombat-looking masks, like Mortis and Canyon and shit, but I can't remember. And then I think he was himself, just he was Brian Lee.
With the Nation of Domination and the Disciples of Apocalypse from 96 to 97.
Yeah, before they split.
WCW. And he was in the NWO from 98 to 99. And then from 99 to 2000, he was the Demon and Chronic.
That's what it was. Yeah, Chronic.
And then second WWE or second return to WWF. And then it's not good after that.
He just never really caught on to anything. Like, Crush was probably, maybe the fucking DOA was probably his best
as Crush
era.
Though. He was Crush.
As Crush, yeah. Like, they tried to give him a run as, like, the face Crush, and it didn't work out. And then they tried to turn him heel, and it didn't work out.
But you're right. He was a lot better as DOA or Nation of Domination Crush, because Crush... not in those factions was like purple and yellow fucking spandex, and then on those other factions he got more.
He turned into a biker.
Yeah, he turned into a biker guy, and he got to keep that gimmick instead of using the shitty one that they had. They were going with.
Right.
The kitty gimmick.
Shitty. Yeah, trying to. It was the era of trying to fucking win over kids.
Yeah.
You know. That's why we had fucking Bastion Boogers and goddamn Duke the Dumpster Drosies. Like, for real. Me being older than you, like, I lived through some shit gimmicks in fucking WWF. In, like, my formidable years, and I stuck around for that shit. But, like, yeah, the worst fucking gimmicks.
I was coming to during the good times.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I still got to witness some of the shitty stuff. It's funny. It's just like my smoking weed transition. I started smoking weed when there's still Reggie's. Dro was the big thing, and you would get hints of Kush and like name brand stuff.
Right.
Yeah, and but like I was still smoking some of the brick weed. I still had to pick stems and seeds out of shit. Very little, but not as much as other people. They had a lot more than I did. I got the tail end.
Yeah.
Both that and this wrestling era.
Right. Where like you coming in to the end of the shit gimmick time is like me when I first got into wrestling was coming in like the midway to 3/4 of the way through the Hogan era. Like I came in, I first really got into wrestling around the time when he was feuding with Sergeant Slaughter, or like right before that, maybe.
And it's funny because Hogan has so many eras that he has this era, the face era, but then he also has the Hollywood Hogan era,
Right.
in WCW, which is a completely different fucking era.
Right.
That guy transitioned so well.
See, like when I say the Hogan era for WWF, I mean like the prime era when he was the shit and the biggest thing in the sport, and how we got shit matches like we get.
Yeah. Well, let's move on so we can get to
Hogan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. That was Doink and Crush. Then we have
boy.
Yeah, my favorite.
Yeah, your boy.
The guy that oozes the most machismo ever, bro. The chicas, they're for fun, eh? He's taking on Bob Backlund, the super technical wrestler.
Jesus Christ. The guy that would go on to become fucking WWF champion again later at 40-something years old.
Yep.
Again, my era, sweet fucking wrestling. Poor Brat. He got fucked over.
Except Bob Backlund is a good wrestler in real life.
He is. Oh, yeah. He was a legit
he looks funny.
NCAA wrestler. But he even in the shit gimmick era, he just didn't fit in. He was too awkward and shit.
Yeah. He came in, but he was beating the shit out of Razor. Technically outsmarting him, outwitting him. And then stupidly, the WWE gives Razor the win with a small package.
Yep.
Doesn't make sense when this guy was beating the crap out of him the whole fucking time with technical wrestling. And then Razor rolls him up and gets the win. It was really weird. It's really weird. Like Razor should have won with like some heel shit and then gotten the pin. Not a technical wrestling move. But that's WWE.
Yeah.
I knew Razor was going to win, but just make it a little bit more believable to his character as a heel.
Right. Give him the moment as a heel, especially because that was when they were really trying to put the heat into him. He hadn't been around that long.
Quick match, not even 4 minutes.
Right.
Yeah.
Put him over fast.
Yeah.
Gotta move it along, man.
Yeah.
It's
7 hours long.
It's Hogan time.
Yeah, and then actually it's Hogan time.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, you guys got to have a quick match because we got to save room for Hogan, because Hogan's got to have fucking 20 minutes to celebrate in the fucking ring
and have a match that doesn't even make sense at all, really.
He came back. So like I remember the Raw when Brutus took the fucking case to the face.
Yeah.
I remember the next week when Hogan came back. Like, the build-up for this match was not very long. It happened pretty quickly before WrestleMania. So I was just like, oh, Hulk's coming back. He wants to be involved in WrestleMania. Here we go. We're going to create this stupid angle real quick.
Yeah. And it was pretty stupid.
It was forced. It was forced as fuck
100%.
to get Hogan, to shoehorn Hogan back into WrestleMania. Yeah,
so we have Money Inc. versus Hogan and it wasn't Brother Brutai at this time. It was
no, it was just Brutus the Barber.
Yeah, dude, this guy had so many fucking gimmicks. It's ridiculous, and none of them worked except Brutus the Barber Beefcake.
It's the only one that ever got him over.
Yeah, and this was just Brutus Beefcake, right? He wasn't even the barber at this time, or was he?
I think he was always, like, in WWF, he was always
the barber.
Brutus the Barber, yeah.
Okay. So yeah, he's been Hoagie's lackey his whole career. Hogan gave him his career. Sad to say, that's not me.
Pretty much. No, you're right.
It's kind of what happened. Sorry to say.
Hogan especially was responsible for keeping his career going.
Yeah.
You could want, right.
It's corny. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I mean, if it wasn't for Hogan, he wouldn't have got a job and wouldn't have had a job the entire time that Hogan was in WCW.
And we see the same thing, Hogan coming back and getting his way. Except they couldn't put the tag team championships on him because I believe he thought, there's probably, well, we'll see. But he didn't want the tag team championships, but he also didn't want to lose. He wanted to further Beefcake somehow. I don't know. It was just weird.
He just wanted to win.
Yeah,
without having to have the responsibility of having the tag team titles.
Yeah. So Money Inc. wins by disqualification because Jimmy Hart counted to 3 after the referee was knocked out, and these guys had fucking both hit their finishers or whatever, and they were both there with the pin. And Jimmy Hart turns his jacket inside out because it's lined with the referee thing.
Yep.
And he counts to 3, and they're all celebrating or whatever, and then one of the ref comes out and says, no, you can't do that. And then they disqualify Hogan and Brutus for no reason, really. I couldn't find the reason besides Brutus getting pushed into the ref. But the ref that came out from the back is the one that made the call, but didn't call that himself. So, yeah, it's just not well played out by Hogan on his comeback. Getting disqualified by winning still, though. Because
they got disqualified for Hogan using the face mask as a weapon. Okay. Using Brutus's mask.
Oh, that makes sense then. That makes sense. And
then, they won the match, but the Megamaniacs threw them out of the ring and opened Shyster's briefcase.
Yeah, because belts, they're invincible to belts. The fucking champions hit him with the belts, and these guys are like, yeah, whatever.
Whatever, I'll just
kick
hulk
the shit
up.
out of him, yeah.
Fuck you, bro.
Beefcake, too, was like that. He's like, yeah, whatever. He's like, I'm with Hogan. I got his powers. His bitch.
Yeah, I'm with Hogan, so therefore I have his powers, and fuck you.
Yeah.
Bad match.
Yeah, just horrible.
And then they celebrated for fucking ever.
Yeah, dude, it's Hogan's return, bro.
You gotta have fucking 35 minutes of Hogan pose downs. Well, I mean, don't get me wrong. I love fucking I Am a Real American as much as the next person. But get the fuck out of the ring, Hogan.
I forget why Hogan was out of the WWE for a year. He relinquished his
Making
title.
movies.
Okay.
Making movies. He was, it was like either Mr. Nanny or fucking Suburban Commando. Mm-hmm. Somewhere on that time. He was making comedies and shit.
Anything else on that?
No. It was bad.
It was a long match and it sucked. You could have given Razor and Backlund a way better match.
Yeah.
Those guys could have put on a way better match, in my opinion. Razor was selling, Backlund was hitting his shit, and then you had a quick roll up by Razor, and then you give these guys 18 minutes. Just cut theirs in half and give these guys but they're like, nah, these guys gotta celebrate, bro.
I bet you that fucking match the finish got called in the ring, the small package.
Probably.
Because I bet you Vince was in the headset telling the referee or whoever telling the referee to fucking tell them to go home. And he told them to go home, and somebody called fucking small package.
You might be right, because I heard a match got scrapped off of this.
There was a dark match before between Tito Santana and Papa Shango.
Seems weird that it would be a dark match.
Well, they were on like hard pay-per-view time too.
Mm-hmm. Who knows? But
who knows? No, I don't have shit else on that match.
Then we had Lex Luger, the Narcissist, versus Mr. Perfect, the perfect wrestler.
God for Kurt Hennig in this match. Otherwise, it would have been awful.
Yeah. Luger wasn't. I think Vince was right in not continuing with the push that he initially gave Luger. Just seeing his selling and his wrestling, it's kind of bland in both areas. Like, he can sell, but meh, and he can wrestle, but okay.
But they did continue the push. They just changed the gimmick. He went face, and fucking. I mean, his push as the Narcissist kind of died off, but then it wasn't very long after this.
I remember him big, but he never won the championship.
No, but he went up against Yokozuna for it.
Yeah.
He was
It
in
was
like a
supposed to be him and
6-month.
Brett, right?
Yeah, well, so he had like a pretty long feud with Yokozuna that started. They did like an event on the 4th of July, so it was like right after Yokozuna won the belt from King of the Ring.
Mm-hmm.
They did an event in July, and where they challenged anybody to try to slam him. And Lex showed up and fucking slammed him, and then he was like the all-American hero. And they gave him a huge push off that because they did like they did the fucking Lex Express where he took like a bus across the goddamn country.
Yeah, because I remember him big as a kid, but he was never champion. I remember
They never put the belt on him. I don't know why, but they fucking pushed the shit out of him.
He just never pulled the trigger.
He was a champion in WCW too, though.
Yeah,
they had him beat Ric Flair.
Was the United States Championship for him, or was that before already? No, that was before.
That was before, I believe.
He had that for a while, I believe.
Yeah,
I remember he had that for a while.
He was a fucking horseman. Jesus Christ, he was a fucking horseman.
Yeah,
not that Rick counts it because I've heard him say otherwise. But
the key guy in the match was definitely Mr. Perfect, Kurt Hennig.
Oh yeah,
and I guess he gets talked about more, and he gets credited more for being such a good technical wrestler and being so good. Nowadays, he gets more and more credit, but he wouldn't before, and that might be just because they never really pulled the trigger on him either. He was never champion. He was Intercontinental.
He never got elevated. He never got elevated above IC, and he should have, but he didn't. But he was one of those guys, though, man. Like,
dude, his execution, perfect. His fucking selling, perfect.
Perfect.
His promos, perfect. His vignettes, some of the best to this day. Where he's throwing the fucking football and he runs and he gets it himself.
Him and Bobby were fucking great together.
Hitting home runs on his just first swing, poof.
Yeah, but this was like one of his. This was like one of the few times in his career in the WWF that he was babyface.
Hitting full court shots.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
But he was the face in this match. Bro. He was always the heel, always the antagonist. But he's a good worker. I mean, Kurt was just a really good worker, and when he was in there against other good workers, they had phenomenal matches.
I almost forgot how it finished, but. After a good back and forth, Mr. Perfect doing a lot of the match carrying. He gets pinned by Luger, but his feet are on the ropes, and the ref doesn't see it because he's in the different position that he shouldn't be in. And Luger leaves, and Perfect is complaining, and nothing gets done. And Perfect attacks Luger in the back while Luger's talking to Shawn. And then Shawn attacks Perfect. I don't know if this started a feud between them or something.
I think it did. I think that feud continued on afterward. I'll have to fucking... I think King of the Ring was next after that. I'll have to see if that fucking... But I think that feud did continue on between those two.
We'll see. I'm gonna check out the next. Let's see the next WrestleMania.
Well, by the next WrestleMania, Shawn was. That was when he had the ladder match with fucking Razor.
Still IC for the IC championship.
Yeah. 10 was the because Shawn had left.
Yeah. And
he came back with his belt. But when he got jumped by the Marine. I think that was that. I don't know. At some point,
one of the excuses. But that one was one of the earlier on ones.
Yeah. Oh God, this match.
Then the next match after that was The Undertaker with Paul Bearer taking on El Gigante Gonzalez. They have it as Giant Gonzalez in here. Was it Giant Gonzalez?
He was Giant. No, he was Giant Gonzalez. He was El Gigante in WCW.
Okay.
Before he came to the WWF.
Okay.
And then he was the Giant Gonzalez in WWF.
Worst gimmick ever, just because it was unexplained.
Yeah, it was a terrible gimmick.
And then he has a costume for no reason that needed explanation.
he had a costume. They put a costume on him because he had no muscle mass. He had no muscle tone.
Yeah.
George was a really big guy, but he was very small, frame wise.
He's lucky that the Great Khali exists, or else he would have the worst movement in WWE or wrestling history ever. Yeah,
so some of the worst. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he does in wrestling period because he was really bad in WCW too, which I don't understand why they signed him.
Mm-hmm. It seems like he was already fucked up, man.
He'd already failed out.
Yeah.
He'd already failed out at he was in WCW in like the late 80s, early 90s. Because he had come up to play basketball for the Atlanta Hawks. And he didn't work out. And so Ted Turner fucking talked WCW into taking him. And he got trained as a wrestler. And then he's WrestleMania wrestling The Undertaker.
Yeah, it was pretty shitty. They shouldn't have done this. What was this? The Undertaker's third WrestleMania match, I believe.
Third, yeah. This was like one of the early ones. He had some really bad opponents and shit.
The streak didn't exist at this time.
Nobody was talking about the streak.
They were just pushing Undertaker at this time.
Yeah,
and he's getting his ass. He got his ass kicked the whole fight or the whole match by the Giant, which understandably they're selling the Giant as great. Well, he was a lot taller than the Undertaker too.
Yeah, they tried to sell him as like this.
He had the look, but the gimmick wasn't there. The guy couldn't talk. The guy couldn't wrestle.
That's why they put him with Harvey Whippleman.
Oh my God, his selling probably the worst.
Horrible.
Probably worse than Khali.
And this was the co-main event.
Yeah. Oh, dude, it was hot garbage, dude. The punches.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Everything.
Everything about him.
You couldn't do anything with him. And then even the punches were just garbage. Like, not the Undertaker's execution of them. His selling of them was just bad.
Did you notice? I think it was like halfway, 3/4 of the way through the match, the Undertaker's like trying to knock him down with a series of clotheslines. And when he's supposed to go down on one, he doesn't. So in the next one, like, Taker has to like really fucking take him out to get him to fall down.
I didn't notice that, but I believe you.
Yeah, he did. I could tell. Like,
enforcer, bro.
It was extra. There was a little extra oomph in the arm.
People respected the Undertaker for a reason.
Because George was just no selling shit, and he was mad.
Yeah, fuck yeah, dude. I forgot.
Took him to court right there in the fucking ring.
I forgot that fat guy that was no selling against Aoki, in Japan, and then he started just beating the shit out of him. He's like, all right, you don't want to, like, the whole match he was no selling him. Like, ha ha ha. I posted up on the
against
page.
Antonio Inoki.
Yeah, and then and he just fucking. He's like, all right, cool. So he fucking just punches the shit out of him, drops him to the floor, and then fucking starts soccer kicking him in the face. He's like, you want to sell? All right, cool. Then we're gonna fight for real. And he's like, come on. This guy's like, hey, we're having a wrestling match. He's like, nah, we were having a wrestling match, dude.
Now we're having a fight.
Yeah, now we're fighting. Let's go.
And I'm beating your ass.
Yeah. Yeah, horrible match. Great win for the Undertaker, I guess.
One of their earliest streaks.
Here's my perspective: as a 5-year-old kid, Undertaker beat a giant. That was incredible.
Right? Yes. Yeah. Same reaction for me.
As a kid, go back and watch it. As a kid, hot garbage.
Right. Hot garbage. But. I mean, like I said,
did we say how he won? He won by the Undertaker wins by disqualification because Giant Gonzalez is beating the fuck out of him, and then for some reason, Giant Gonzalez is like, "Hey, I'm winning so dominantly. Let me get this fucking rag of chloroform and knock out the Undertaker."
Yeah,
didn't make sense because
nothing.
The match was only 7 minutes into the card. I know there were time restraints and stuff like that, but they had longer matches on the card, and Giant Gonzalez was winning. I can see if he was losing, then bring out the chloroform. But no. He's just like, I'm gonna put the Undertaker to sleep after I've been beating him. I'm not gonna go for a pin.
I think like I want to say like somewhere in the feud. I can't remember. I can't remember the build up to this match very well. I've tried to block it out, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Because I want to say George only had like one other match, and then they sent him packing.
Yeah, I remember him as a presence, but I think they got rid of him long because I don't remember much of him.
He wasn't there very long.
But I remember him. He was in my
all.
head, but he wasn't there long.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we have the main event.
Main event.
Yep, champion Bret Hart.
The Hitman.
Yeah, the Hitman versus the challenger, 500-pounder Yokozuna. In a
Mr. Fuji.
Very, I wouldn't say racist, but racially driven environment by...
Yeah.
Like, they were going a lot to the Japanese or
dude,
camera guys and asking them like questions, and they wouldn't answer like American questions. Like, oh no, me no speak English, and then they would be like, what about Yokozuna? Oh yeah, Yokozuna #1. It's like, come on, dudes, a little bit better.
Dude,
on your end.
Hogan called him a Jap.
Called who a Jap? I missed it.
Oh God, bro! It was like an interview. It might have been an interview right before the match, maybe.
I saw the interview. I missed the Jap part.
Okay, yeah, no. So
I use Jap words. I use the Jap word all the time. So
at the end of it, he's like, and I told Bret Hart that if he won, or he's like, I don't care if you win or the Jap wins.
Hilarious.
I rewound it back twice. I was like, oh shit. Racist Hulk Hogan fucking showing his head early in life.
Not bad.
Thug life.
Thug life.
Thug life. Yeah, he calls him a Jap.
Hogan.
Oh, Hulky.
Old man Hogan. But
racist Hulk Hogan.
Was it before the match? Yeah, before the match, Hogan weirdly is interviewed by Mean Gene, I believe.
Yep.
And he's asked about Bret Hart, and he's like, well, Bret Hart's a brother, and he's a Hulkamaniac, and this and that, and I don't remember.
But I told him.
Yeah,
I'm gonna challenge him.
Yeah, it's so weird. It
doesn't make any. It doesn't make any fucking sense.
Weird.
It doesn't make any fucking sense.
Hogan just returned after a year.
Yeah, it just pops up
about the championship match. Well, he's a Hulkamaniac, brother, and let me tell you something. It was.
It didn't make any fucking sense.
In the book, this is called foreshadowing.
Yes. Yes.
It's like, hey, this doesn't make sense. Oh.
One of these things is not like the other.
It'll make sense at the end, but not in the way that you want it to make sense. In Hogan's head, it'll make sense.
Oh. I can't believe fucking Vince thought this was a good idea. And nobody around him. But I guess at that time, the WWF was not making a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
When Hogan wasn't around, they weren't making a lot of money. And so, how do we fucking get asses in the seats? We bring back the biggest attraction.
Hogan.
Yeah. Man. And at the time, as a kid, like all of this shit, I was into because I was a fucking Hulkamaniac.
Yeah, who wasn't? Everyone
was. But even this end part, as a 9-year-old kid, I was like, wait, what? What just happened?
Yeah.
Now, as an adult, I'm like, this shit's fucked.
So we have a pretty good match between Yoko and
Bret Hart.
We
do. Yeah. It's a for a fucking big man and a technical wrestler. This was a good match. Yoko was for his size was a pretty good worker.
Yeah, except he got tired pretty quick in this match.
Yeah, he big man, he blows up.
Yeah, for the first 5 minutes he was good, but the next 3.5 was pretty bad.
But but he had the ability to put on good matches. He was a better worker than fucking Hogan.
Yeah. Yeah, for being such a big guy, yeah.
Hogan had the big boot and the leg drop. That was it.
Yep.
Yoko had a leg drop.
Hey,
His
no,
leg drop.
bro, you're forgetting about the Hulk up.
Oh, my bad. Forgot about the Hulk up.
Yeah, forget about that one.
Sorry, forgot about the Hulk up.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you said, a pretty good match.
Yep, you had Brett doing this thing, Yoko selling for him and not taking shit, but that's how you sell for when you're a big guy and he's a little guy. But then eventually, I think Brett takes out his leg or something like that to take out Yoko, and he has to take him out technically instead of doing high fly shit and off the rope shit because Yoko is big.
Gotta work that leg if you're gonna try to get the sharpshooter.
Yeah,
gotta soften it up.
Yeah, and Brett ultimately gets defeated by getting salt in the eyes.
Mr. Fuji with that bucket of salt. Yeah, that was kind of a thing in the gimmick for a while.
Yeah. The dirty heel Yokozuna.
Dirty, yeah. Well, Mr. Fuji just being the dirty heel manager.
Yeah.
He tripped people with his cane. He fucking threw salt in people's eyes. Like.
Yeah. Full Heel Podcast. Let's get a picture of Mr. Fuji.
You should. Mr. Fuji should be part of the Full Heel fucking team.
I should look for a compilation picture of all the heels and put it up. Edit it a bit. I should make it myself.
Yeah. That'd be tight. That'd be tight. Yeah. So, yeah. Disqualification. Brett gets the salt in the eye.
Yeah, and Yoko gets the win. He didn't even hit the banzai, I don't think. Did he?
I don't think so. I think maybe
Did he
just
drag him back to the salt to the ice? I don't know.
I don't think he got the. I don't remember the bonsai drop.
Mm-mm. And so Brett loses, and Yoko becomes your new champion. Or so that's what we think. Because then we hear.
Well, yeah, as fucking Yokozuna celebrating, Brett's fucking walking back down the aisle. Here comes Hogan. What the fuck?
For no reason.
None.
Well, for his reason.
Yeah.
But no reasoning behind it. Like he left a year ago. This is his return. He had a match earlier for the tag team championships. He cut a promo before this, kind of wishing Brett good luck, but kind of like, but I'm still your father because you're a Hulkamaniac. It's so weird.
It's so fucking weird.
And then it all comes in to close it and makes sense. Because he comes in and for some reason a match gets sanctioned and he beats Yokozuna in 22 seconds. Which is all he needs to hit his moves. Which I think that's all he does except for the Hulk up. He doesn't even Hulk up, so, you know.
No, this is a 22-second fucking match. Fuji challenges him to the match. They accept. Hogan, he tries to throw the salt in Hogan's eyes. Misses, hits Yokozuna. Fucking Hogan hits him with the boot and leg drop over. Oh, didn't even end with a boot. The fucking salt probably knocked him down. Burning in his eyes. Salt. He was crying. Yeah.
The salt of death.
And Hogan's fucking champion again.
Yeah, and everything's back to normal from a year ago.
Dude. It's so fucked.
And here's the really fucked part. Hogan, I don't know how long after this, but shortly after this, goes over to Japan with the WWE title, or F at the time, and calls it a Christmas trinket for the tree. And says the real prize he wants is the one that the Great Muta has. The New Japan Pro Wrestling belt. So...
Damn, you just dropped knowledge on me because I didn't know anything about that.
Yeah, so this not only did Hogan not put over the next guy that should have taken over for Hogan and after Hogan, not only did he not put him over, he put himself over and then shit on the WWE and left to Japan and then shit on the title that he came in and took from Brett. Because the idea, I think it was to have Brett versus Lex Luger, but then eventually it became Yoko versus Lex Luger or something like that. I don't know. But yeah. Yeah, Hogan leaves shortly after this.
Yeah, well, I knew he left. He dropped the belt at King of the Ring to Yoko.
Mm-hmm.
So this was April, and then that was June. So it was only like 2 months later he dropped the belt, and then he was out.
Yeah.
And he refused to drop it to Brett.
And then after that, I think he goes to WCW, right?
Yeah, then he goes to WCW.
WCW. Let's see. Yeah, so final WWF Championship reigns are from 1989 to 1993, and then returned to New Japan 1993 to 94. Yeah, Hogan signed with Ted Turner's World. Oh, it's because since championship wrestling at that time, you know how they were kind of not in cahoots, but they were in dealings with all those leagues from around, and that's why WCW versus NWO World Tour was made, and all those fucking wrestlers were in there from all the other leagues and shit like that.
They brought in guys from Japan. They brought in guys from, with Conan, bringing in guys from Mexico.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so here's a quick little excerpt from Wikipedia. On May 3rd, 1993, Hogan returned to New Japan as WWF champion and defeated IWGP Heavyweight Champion the Great Muta in a dream match at Wrestling Dantaku. Hogan wrestled again against Muta again, this time under his real name, Kenji Muta, on September 26, 1993. Hogan also wrestled the Hellraisers with Great Muta, blah, 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 blah. His last match in Japan was on January 4th, 1994, as Battlefield, when he defeated Tatsumishi Fujinami. Yeah, so that's that.
What's the date? What was the date that the first match happened
May
between?
3rd, 1993, Hogan returned to New Japan.
Okay, so right after WrestleMania then.
He's a jerk, man.
Yeah, he is.
Dude, because WrestleMania was April or March, whatever this was. This was this was April 3rd. It was exactly a month, right?
April. Yeah.
It was exactly a month. Or not
April.
A month.
April 4th. It took
How
place
many
April
years?
4th.
This was 93. So
this was 93. Yeah, that's why I was asking, because I didn't catch the date of the first match, but then I caught the end of it, and I think the end of it, when he was like into 94 and stuff, was before he went to WC, or right around the time he went to WCW.
yeah, he ended January 4th, 94, and then 94 to 96. In June 94, Hogan signed with Ted Turner.
Yeah,
June 94. Yep, and then began his face run that was unsuccessful, that later became the NWO run, which was super successful and revived his career. Brother.
Yep. Brother.
Shawn.
So, the feud did spark from that backstage incident between Shawn and Mr. Perfect, and they wrestled at SummerSlam in 1993.
I wonder if that's when they put the title on Perfect.
No. Shawn won by count out after Bodyguard, after Diesel attacked, he was new at the time. He just started coming around. Attacked Perfect.
Okay.
And then Perfect feuded with Diesel until he left.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was shortly in June of 1993 that the Steiner brothers got their championship over Money Inc.
All right. Yeah, that was WrestleMania 9, brothers.
Yeah. Not a great WrestleMania.
Yeah, see, like it kind of like it wasn't a big explosion at the end or nothing like that.
No. Like I said, I picked it because of some of the significant events that took place, like JR's first fucking, his debut with the WWF, it being the last WrestleMania of the Hogan era, and when things started to get better. When they stopped fucking Bret Hart around, and
after this,
until the end, but it was like after this, was Bret got the belt back by the next WrestleMania, and had a push for quite a while. So
yeah, so Hogan screwed Bret. Who screwed Bret? Did Vince screw Bret? Nope, Hogan.
Hogan. It all started with Hogan
in '93, bro.
But who let Hogan screw Bret?
Yeah.
Vince.
Yeah. Ultimately,
so
yeah.
It all goes back to Vince.
Mm-hmm.
It sucks because the more you think about it, Vince kind of did do a lot of shit to fuck Bret around his whole career.
Yeah.
And all Bret did was carry the fucking company line.
Mm-hmm. While these guys were leaving and coming and leaving and coming.
Exactly.
And he's like, oh, it's my turn? Yeah, psych.
Just kidding.
Yeah.
Sucks.
Yeah, what are you going to do, brother?
What are you going to do, brother?
Yeah. Well, Jeff, I want to thank you for joining me.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for having me on, man.
No problem, brother. We got to do this again.
Dude, down. Anytime.
I got to get to episode 100 soon. This was episode 90, so... Episode 100, I'm coming for you, brother.
Woo!
Yeah. Check out Average Joe's MMA show, where me and Jeff talk about MMA. We'll drop a new episode tomorrow.
Yeah, I think Ryan's going to be joining us.
What?
I gotta actually, I'm thinking about it because I'm high. I'm going to fucking send him a quick message right now and make sure.
Crazy. It's been a while for him to be on there.
It has been a while, man. I don't even remember the last time, Ryan.
Yeah. You should post more in the group, the Average Joe's links. I should too, not just you, but I should.
I know I'm bad about posting the links.
Yeah, but check out Average Joe's if you want to hear more about me. I'm going to get more episodes out of the Full Heel podcast. I'm going to try to have a lot more content out. I'm going to be a lot more busier on this channel. And I'm going to advertise a lot more. I've been seeing the numbers go up with the more content and the more consistent I've been. So be on the lookout. I'm going to be a lot more active. Full Heel Podcast coming at you at full speed. Hitting you where it hurts. In the balls.
Right in the balls.
Yeah, like a heel. The low blow.
Got to. Low blow. Bah.
Yeah, so we're coming. Yeah, but check me out on Average Joe's. Check out more Full Heel Podcast. Hit that subscribe button over here or over there. I don't know exactly where because of the cameras. They flip shit around. You got anything, Jeff? Any final words while I pack this bowl and take a hit?
No. Check out Average Joe's. Fucking support Rafa. Keep hitting that subscribe button on the Full Heel Podcast and hitting them downloads.
Yeah, I want to thank the rewrites for being badasses for letting me use their music and helping me podcast, all that good shit. There's no card this weekend.
There's no card this weekend? I thought the pay-per-view was this weekend.
No, the pay-per-view is the 13th. So for 2 weeks, there's nothing.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so 2 weeks of nothingness. So, Hogan had a black eye. I forgot to mention that.
Yeah, that he blamed on a fucking Sea-Doo accident.
And there was rumored that Macho Man hit him, but that was just rumored.
I bet it's true, though. I had heard he got his ass kicked by somebody.
Yeah, ultimately I heard it was a ski accident, but who knows. It's been a pleasure, Jeff.
Thank you for having me, man. I always have a blast coming on and talking fucking wrestling with you.
This hits for you guys.
Woo!
And I'll see you guys next time on the Full Heel Podcast. I love you, cocksuckers. And, yeah. Peace out.